Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Gay, and I'm here today with Yamil Rosales. Yamil is the 2019 International Business Plan Competition winner. Yamil, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Patrice. Thank you. An honor to be here.
All right. So I'm asking the team to make sure they post this on the Mexico Facebook page as well. You are the Mexico Facebook social media guy, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
if you
it.
could make sure that this is live right now on Facebook Live as well on the podcast, make sure your team repost this so that way they can be able to check it out right now live on. So those who are from Mexico, I want to welcome you to the e-community podcast, and those who are our regulars from North America, Latin America, all over the world, or Asia Pacific or Europe, welcome. So we're preparing for Nehemiah Week coming up in about a couple of weeks, Nehemiah Week 2020, our annual conference. And Yamil will be one of the speakers. Yamil will be speaking at the International Business Plan Competition as every person that speaks, that wins the competition from prior year is invited to speak this year. And Yamil is the one. Yamil, you're bringing back the trophy with you, right? Because you got to pass the trophy to the new winner. And I know that your hope is that Mexico will take it again so that they can
Yeah.
hold on to it for another year. Yamil, so first tell our audience about your business that you presented last year and that won the competition, and a bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Yamil Rosales. I'm from Mexico. I'm from a town called Metepec, that it's near Mexico City. I'm a musician. Formerly, I'm a musician, and I started this business with my brother. Um, in 2013, that it's called Sound City. Right now, Sound City, it's the biggest school of music in our area. And right now, since we have all these coronavirus crisis and all of this, we are moving to digital. So we are expecting to be the first true Latin American school teaching online. Today, there are a lot of resources for musicians, but we have few resources in Spanish and few resources that are well organized with efficient platforms and study plans directly built for online for all the online market. So we are working really hard on this, and well, a lot has changed since last year. I can say that we were preparing for more, but we didn't know how God was going to bring more. And when all these crises started, I was really afraid, because I was watching the families that depend directly in our businesses, and I start watching the numbers going down, and the people starting getting afraid. But I think that last year, Nehemiah Week and all the experience around Nehemiah project prepare us exactly for this moment. This moment where crisis, it's something that it's hitting us, but we are fighting it back. And I think that I can tell you, 4 months away since the start of this craziness, it's that this crisis was exactly what we need, and exactly what Nehemiah project prepare us to be on. So well, that's it. And we're really excited about all that it's happening thanks to this crisis.
I love it. I love it. So, Yamil, what city of Mexico are you from?
Originally I'm from Mexico City, but I can proudly say I'm from Metepec, Estado de Mexico.
Metepe, Mexico.
Yeah.
Could you put it on the chat there? Because I want the team to put the name of your city and country on your title, so they know what part of Mexico you're from. So that Mexico won the 2019 business plan competition. Uh, Yamil, I'm so excited about your approach, your attitude towards COVID-19, and how you've seized the opportunity and how you saw that biblical entrepreneur prepared you for it. Let me take us back a little bit to when you first joined biblical entrepreneurship. I remember you. There it is, Metepec. Did I spell it right? Metepec, Mexico.
Yeah.
All right, we have a dynamic team. All right, so you took biblical entrepreneurship 2 years ago, right? You started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your journey when you first took BE, having no idea that COVID-19 was coming up, having no idea that you would even win the competition.
Yeah.
I remember coming to your church and sharing biblical entrepreneurship, and you enrolled. Tell us about that first experience, what your hope was, and how the BE experience, how the experience going through BE was for you.
Well, I can say it. Nimaya project changed my life completely. I remember that I was 2 years ago in the first Nemaya week in Mexico. And I remember that you came to Mexico with the Mears family, and I remember that that Edna invited me. Edna, it's the regional director of Nemaya project in Mexico. But at that time, I was only a musician. I was running my business for 7 years. 5 years at that moment. 6 years at that moment. Yeah, 6 years at that moment. And I used to think that I have a great business because it already was a great school. We already have students, but there start the limitations that we have when we don't have the proper training. What I was thinking is, if I'm a musician, I can be a teacher, and if I can be a teacher, I can put a school, and if I put a school, I can make the business grow. And I was managing the school of music as as the perspective of a musician. So when I arrived first to the Nemaya week in Mexico, it totally blew my mind. I never before seen how it works. For example, finances. Everything that I did is it's I put a list of the incomes and the outputs, and that's it. But that I start discovering this whole business opportunities that training can give you. So I start getting more and more interesting at this. I start leaving the musician part and start forming myself as a business owner. That day, the first thing that I remember is that they teach me, you are a steward, and you are a steward that it's responsible of all the lives that are involved in your organization. And that totally blew my mind, because I discovered that each minute that some collaborator expends or invest in our business is a minute of their lives that it's not going to return. It doesn't matter if you are paying them. You are taking the most value that they have, that it's their time and their life. So you have a compromise with that thing, because you have to be a good steward, not only of the business, but you have to be a steward of the life that all that your collaborators are giving to you. So I start this journey, and for me it was mind blowing. I start being near to Etna and being there. Then I traveled to the Nimaya week in Orlando, and again it totally blew my mind, because I could learn two things. My vision was very short. When I see all the businesses around the Nimaya project and the international things that they were doing and how they were growing, I was like, wow, I'm just a little part in this place called marketplace. And I start watching how other people around the world have this perspective on how to build businesses. That was the first thing that blew my mind at that time. The second thing was to see the human part behind those EVs. What I could learn is that it doesn't matter the country, we all have almost the same problems, and the great value is how through connection, through learning, through training, we can help each other to solve those problems. So that Nemaya week for me was very important. I returned to Mexico with a lot of energy, with a lot of ideas that I couldn't organize at that moment. And then I started with the EBX program. and I start training, and I developed my business plan last year, and then we present in Washington this last year.
Were you surprised to be selected as the winner for Mexico?
Can you repeat me, please?
Were you surprised when you were announced that you won the Mexico business plan competition? Were you surprised at all?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Obviously, you hope to win.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was something that I could really imagine because I was just a musician.
Wow. So you won the competition in Mexico. So now you're coming to the US as the competitor. So tell me what was going through your mind as you were coming to the US to compete at the international competition.
I couldn't expect that. It was really surprising for me. I wasn't expecting to win in Mexico. I was watching the projects that they were presenting, and in particular, one project seems huge. And when I watched this business plan, it was like I can't compete with this. So when they announced in Mexico, that was my first surprise because I wasn't expecting to win. Then when we arrived to Washington that week, but that week was a week where God worked not in the business part, but in the spiritual and internal part. I remember that I was with Edna one day before the competition, and I told her, "I'm not going to win. I don't deserve to win if I don't fix things in my heart."
Wow.
If I fix things with God, I know that this is a huge responsibility, but because it's just only the beginning, and I don't want to be a guy that wins a competition, but inside it's destroyed. So that
Wow.
week was a tremendous work from God, working my mind and my ideas, discovering why we do businesses. It's not money. It's about people. It's about growing. It's about expanding kingdom. It's about a lot of things. So God had to do a lot of things in my heart that week. And I remember I was praying one day before, and I tell God, if this price is going to destroy me, if this price is not going to help me evolve, if this price is not going to take us into the future in a good way, we don't deserve to win. So it was one of the most difficult prayers that I did in my life. So when we won,
wow,
that was not just winning the competition. It was a message from God telling us everything's going to be okay. You are doing things in a good way. So that was mind blowing because it was not seeking man's approval, but God's approval at that time.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Well, it was incredible.
You are the first Mexican to ever win first place.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Huge responsibility. Yeah, it's a huge responsibility because there are competitors all over the world. There are businesses. I remember a lot of the business plan at that competition, and I told to myself, wow, these projects are incredible. Some of the projects were fully focused on helping other people, not just doing business, but fully focusing the business to help other people. So in my mind was like, wow, how can we compete on this? So it was huge, but because it's a responsibility when God allowed you to have this kind of surprises, you have to be responsible. But for what it comes next, winning is easy. Maintaining your ideals, your principles, and accomplish what you say to God, what you were going to do, that's the difficult part.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, I noticed that when they announced you as the winner, all the other competitors were cheering for you. And I remember you and the guy from Madagascar, who I think won second place, you guys, it's as though you were cheering for each other. Talk to us a bit about it. Seems like though you each were competing against each other, but it was a sense of family and community where you were happy no matter who won. How did that come about? You never met before, all you competitors, but somehow you guys were a community while at Nehemiah. How did that happen?
Well, I think that the main difference in being in events like this in the world and being in the Maya project that has this all these principles involved. The main difference it's that in the world you are there to compete and to be the best and to earn more money and to do and to grow. But when you're at Nemaya week, you can feel the energy of the other people that are around you, to discover that there's a lot of crazy people there that truly believe in God, that truly believe in their purpose, that truly believe that the projects that arrive in their hands are not for them, are for sharing, are for growing, are for building something. So I think that's the kind of energy that you can feel when you start collaborating with the Maya project at any level. So you discover that winning it's not the most important thing. When you arrive there, you feel that like you are with brothers, and then that you it doesn't matter where you come from, or the size of your business, of the kind of your business. You discover that all of these people are around for one purpose, and that purpose it's the mission, the personal mission that God gave them. And when you understand that you are there to accomplish the mission that God gave you, it's not longer a competition. You know that all the EPs that are working for expanding the kingdom, and that's the main and great difference. So everything feels like a great family, because you are seeking the same thing: a benefit for your community, a growing and expanding kingdom. I think that's the main difference, and how it feels like family when you arrive there.
Wow, that's incredible. So I want to take your mind back to you're sitting there on that Saturday. By the way, we're talking to Yamil Rosales, the winner, the 2019 International Business Plan Competition winner from Mexico. And Yamil will be a keynote speaker this year at the International Business Plan Competition. If you want to join us at Nehemiah Week this year, there's still time to register. You want to go to nehemiahweek.com, nehemiahweek.com. There you can register for the conference and join us as you will hear Yamil speak his keynote. You will hear other speakers share and talk about having expanding their businesses through strategy. So, Yamil, the Nehemiah Week banquet, you're sitting there, and there's 5 of you, and everybody's hoping they'll be called. Tell me about what goes on in your mind. Your name gets called. Talk to us about what happens for you, how you felt at that moment.
One of the interesting part that happened that day is that they didn't call my name. They say Mexico. and when I hear Mexico, I can today remember that feeling. It was I don't know how to describe it, but I can feel it in my skin, because that day was one of the initial proofs that say everything's going to be okay. We are getting into the right way. We now have the approval, not just of yourself. You have the approval of an international community that's seeking the same purposes, and they think that your project has what it needs to take it to the next level. So I was really proud for that, because I was representing my whole country, and
Wow.
and being the first is a huge responsibility. So I'm really excited, because I know that it can be made. We as Mexicans, we suffer. I think that a lot of countries have this problem. We suffer when we see European countries or the US, because we see their level of development, and then we see us, and we know that we are not growing as fast as these countries. But these things gives you the chance to know that you can be competitive, that you can bring innovation to your country, that you can put a difference, that you can put hired just the name of God, but also the name of your country, proving the world that there are competitive projects where they can invest and where they can look to Mexico and Latin America. So for me, that was crazy. I was really, I feel really joyful of hearing Mexico. I realized that in that day we were putting the name of Mexico and all of the Mexicans and all the EV Mexicans put in another level, you know.
Wow, that is powerful. And then that day, Yamil won against Europe, and I think Europe. I think was it Ukraine represented Europe. You won against Africa, Madagascar. You won against North America, and I think it was Haiti and the U.S. And so that was powerful. Now, tell me a bit about you going back to Mexico. So you've won the competition, and now how was going back feel like? You know, and you going back, how were you received? How was that experience going back, having been the winner?
Well, one of the main things that put me a little bit sad was that my family couldn't be that at that moment with me. I was really expecting for them being live in the Maya Week Mexico 2020, but all this thing happened. So when I arrived, when I was getting down the plane, I remember the first thing that we did, Edna and I, was going to eat tacos. And I remember that I was sitting there in a local taco shop. I don't know how to say that. Returning to my life, it was like putting again the feet in the ground. You know, it was like coming from this great adventure, but I have to realize that it was just that. It's just an adventure. It's just a thing that happened in your life. There are many people that live stuck on the things that they do. They win a competition, they win a prize, they have a opportunity, they enjoy an event, but they forget that it's just a moment of their lives. When I arrived to Mexico, I realized that it was just the first step and it was just the beginning. When I arrived, I remember I arrived directly to give lessons, music lessons at my school, because I have a lesson to give that day. So when I arrived, I told to myself, we are going to be the best music school in Mexico and Latin America. So I was really joyful. I arrived there and I started talking to my students with a lot of energy, preparing them for what's coming next. And then I arrived home, I shared with my family, but then I start realizing now it's the time to put working this plan. So I start feeling really worried at that time. I know that accomplishing what we told was huge, but then we start feeling that it could be possible. So it was returning to reality, start putting the mind in order, but realizing that journey was just beginning, that Nemaya Week was just an adventure, a great adventure, but now we were on the battlefield and that we need to start marking and putting a difference.
Wow. I love it. Again, we're talking to Yamil Rosales, the 2019 International Business Plan Competition winner. Yamil is from Mexico, Metepec, Mexico, and he won last year. He'll be the keynote speaker for the International Business Plan Competition this year at Nehemiah Week. Yamil, someone has said, proud of you. Now, Yamil, you mentioned Edna, and Edna is your mentor. Tell us about how she felt. She had held your hand from beginning, and tell her how she felt when you won. What did that mean to her? How did it impact her?
Okay. Edna is my sister. It's not my blood sister, but I remember the first lesson that she gave me, and she told me about a biblical story. At that time, I think that as any young person, I felt lost. I didn't have a purpose. I was very afraid of the future. I felt that doing businesses was just for great people with other standards. So she started investing. I never understand at the beginning. I never understood why she started investing in me, because she paid me the first Nehemiah week in Mexico. She paid me the travel for the first Nehemiah week in Orlando. She invested in 1 year of coaching for me. She was fully in, investing resources, time. I never at the beginning understand why. It was like, why are you doing this? What are you expecting? Then I understand that she wasn't expecting anything. It was just what God tell her to do. So I start working and working and working and working, and then when the day arrived, she wasn't there. When they announced the competition winner, I remember that she buy wrong the plane ticket, and she traveled to Mexico 1 day before, so she
Wow.
wasn't there. When I arrived to Mexico, I met with her, and I remember that, because then I understand. Uh, I remember that she hugged me, that she told me a few words, and she told me, now you know what it's all of this about. So for me, it was really challenging to be with a person that at the beginning didn't know me, and start investing, and when the result presented, that she said, I already knew that this was going to happen. I
Wow.
already knew, because it was not my decision. It was what God put in my heart, and that was a trial for my faith, because I understand that God moves in amazing ways. So it was for me really exciting to be there, knowing that all the investment that she did was not in vain, and and that I can prove to her and to everyone that believe in the project at that moment, that we can do things. And I'm really grateful to can say that that I was a good steward about what they invest. So I was really proud for that, because I watched my sister happy, and she expressed that in other times she invests in other persons and it just didn't work, but she keep investing until she find me and start investing. So that was huge, because it's not just a person that I know. Now she's my sister, and make my sister proud that's incredible.
That's powerful. And as I'm hearing you share, Edna is the regional director for Latin America, the director for Mexico, and also opening the e-community center in Mexico City. She the same way she did with you, Renee Villa did with her, and we're gonna have Renee here in studio. I think this Friday. Renee did with her, and now she did with you. What a powerful legacy, and what a powerful generation. I understand Edna is here as well watching. So Edna, if you're here, just say a shout out to Yamil. Edna, congratulations. We know that he is the fruit of your labor. The importance of mentoring others, of giving back. She invested you time, she invested you talent, she invested in you treasure, and here is the fruit. Yamil, your story, and you have an amazing story. I'm having you come back to talk about that story, your journey. Your journey. You've had your wilderness experience. You've had your moment of trials and tests. I'm coaching you as you struggled with some dynamics, and just seeing you press through and persevere has just been amazing. I want to just congratulate you. Yamil, in the next couple of weeks, you'll be giving a keynote speech at Nehemiah Week for the international competition. Well, first, tell us a bit about your experience at Nehemiah Week, and how that's been for you, because I want you to help me sell Nehemiah Week right now. So how has Nehemiah Week impacted you, and why should others come to Nehemiah Week?
Okay. I think that there are a lot of events out there. There are a lot of training options. Right now, we are moving into a more digital world. So everyone it's jumping into the social media. Everyone is jumping into this new electronic resources to sell things, to sell courses. There's a lot of things out there going on. But being at Nehemiah Week, it's the true opportunity to directly share with others that feel just like you, that one, to do more than just put a business, that thing that you can learn it anyway. Truly, you can go to the university and study a career. You can take a course, a digital course, and start going. But being here with the people, being in touch with the person that are struggling with the same times and being with the people that they can teach you directly, not just the experience, not just the knowledge. It's something that you find in Google. You can go to Google and watch for everything, but having this true experience to know the human beings on the other side of those businesses, to hear about their experience, to literally see how they do things. It's completely different. One of the main things that I love from the Maya Week, it's the Kingdom Business Tour, because it's not the same to know that there's a business around in one part of the world, then see it with your own eyes. See how they have been struggling. See how they have been fixing and fighting the necessities of others. Seeing all these projects growing in front of your eyes, and that's one of the main things that Nimaya Week it gave me the opportunity to know others and to truly watch what they were doing. So I think that it experience it's incredible. It's something that you are not going to have by just taking a course. You need to be there, and I think that this year Nemaya Week, this digital Nemaya Week, it's going to be huge because everything it's moving to digital. So we are part of this revolution, and have the opportunity to share, to have this experience online this year. I think that it's going to make you want to go to True Nemaya Week live next year. So I think that's a great value, connection with people.
Amen. Well, you heard it from Yamil. We want to invite you to register Nehemiah. We go to nehemiahweek.com, nehemiahweek.com. There you can register and join us this year, Nehemiah Week, as we hear Yamil live give his keynote at the International Business Plan Competition. Yamil, Isma says saludos.
Saludos.
Yamil, Nehemiah Week was supposed to be in Mexico City, and I know that everybody was looking forward to coming down to Mexico. Now we move it to 2020. 2021, we're going to be with you next year in Mexico City. We'll look forward to that. You're also leading worship this year at Nehemiah Week. Tell us a bit about that. What can we expect from your worship experience for the worship you're leading for us this year at Nehemiah Week? What can we expect?
What can we expect? Well, we can expect an international team. I know that there's going to be two different teams, one from France and one from Mexico. From here, from Mexico, I can tell you're going to hear all these great church classics that we all love, but in new versions. We are working a lot with the faith community worship team that it's my church. We are already working on how are we going to transmit. We already have experiences doing live streamings, and we have all the equipment. So you are going to have a little taste of how we can put this online experience together. We are working a lot to manage that the transmission will be good, that you are going to give a real taste of true worship, and we are assembling songs that we can put together in a lot of languages. So we are expecting to sing in French, in Spanish, in English, in Congolese. So that's very exciting for us, because sharing worship at this level internationally, I think that it's going to be really, really amazing. I really like the opportunity to do businesses in the Maya, but also to play and to show art and to worship God in this beautiful way that it's through music. So where I want, where I expect from this is that we all can be together at the same spirit. It doesn't matter where you are going to be in the world, but at that day we are going to be together, one in one worship, in one voice.
Wow, awesome. So come to Nehemiah Week. You're going to see the special production of Sound City as he brings worship to us from Mexico City, Mexico in general, and the different worship experiences. And I remember last year, if we were going to be physically in Mexico, your company was going to sponsor the worship and the equipment and so forth. Thank you for that. Emil, let's speak to our Mexican audience, the Spanish community. In Spanish, tell them why they should come to Nehemiah Week. Do it in Spanish.
I tell why?
To the Spanish community,
yeah.
Let's speak to our Latinos. In Spanish, tell them why they should come to Nehemiah Week. Do it in Spanish.
Okay. Es una locura venir a estar en Nehemiah Project. O sea, definitivamente tienes que estar aquí. Lo primero que va a pasar es que de verdad vas a poder hacer networking a nivel internacional y eso es increíble porque de verdad conocer la cosmovisión de otras culturas es sumamente impresionante. Como lo mencioné hace un momento, el que te puedas dar cuenta que no importa el país, todos tienen los mismos problemas, todos tienen necesidades y cuando entiendes que los negocios han sido diseñados para solventar necesidades de los seres humanos, encuentras verdaderamente las estrategias de valor que tu audiencia requiere. Cuando estás en Nehemiah Project entiendes por qué hacemos las cosas. Ya no se trata de una cuestión de dinero o de ambición. Se trata de una cuestión de propósito, se trata de una cuestión de conexión, se trata de una cuestión de crecimiento y se trata de monetizar, sí, porque es importante, pero se trata de monetizar algo a través de solventar una necesidad humana. Y creo que lo más importante es esto, que voltemos a vernos a nosotros mismos como seres humanos, entendiendo que los clientes, la gente, no son un signo de pesos, no son alguien, muchos dicen vamos a generar clientes y vamos a generar ventas. La gente no son clientes y la gente no son ventas. La gente son esos seres humanos con una necesidad específica a la cual tú tienes un contenido de valor impresionante que puedes aportarles y finalmente hacerlos crecer. Y en esa medida se genera la monetización, en ese crecimiento en conjunto y esta parte de poner a la gente primero, a los humanos primero, esta parte de ponernos nosotros mismos, de entender que todos somos hijos de Dios y de ponernos directamente en los zapatos del otro de forma empática y verdaderamente ayudar a que tu negocio sea una solución a una respuesta, a una necesidad, es muy, muy, muy poderoso. Te aseguro que te va a encantar. Yo he ido 2 años a Nehemiah Week Estados Unidos, 1 año a Nehemiah Week en México y te aseguro que voy a estar aquí pegado los próximos 10 años porque finalmente es impresionante no lo que la organización puede hacer, no lo que el conocimiento puede hacer, lo que Dios puede hacer a través de esto y es increíble. Entonces, no se pierdan la Nehemiah Week en México de manera online. Está a un precio, yo creo, irrepetible, como una primera experiencia, está increíble. Atrévete a venir. Atrévete a estar porque el próximo año, te lo aseguro, vas a querer estar en la Nehemiah Week de México de manera presencial y además vas a querer tomar los cursos y estar participando y bueno, es una locura, así que tienes que estar aquí, de verdad, tienes que estar en esta locura que es Nehemiah Project.
Wow. Edna said, yee! We love Nehemiah Project. See, all this while, Edna said nothing, but when you started speaking Spanish, she got excited. Could you read what she just said and tell us what it means in Spanish? You look at the comments. Look at where it says comments. Could you tell them what she said in English? Read it in Spanish.
Yeah, dice, ser un emprendedor bíblico es un honor, servir a Dios a través de nuestros talentos. In English, being an entrepreneur, a biblical entrepreneur, it's a huge honor, and serving God through our talents, it's great.
Wow, powerful. Now, Yamil, let's talk to the competitors. There's a competitor from Mexico, one from Kenya who just won the regional competition in Africa. There's one from North America, then one from Asia. They're all going to be competing, coming to compete for who will take the prize this year. And they all want you to pass that trophy to them. This year, we're going to have you ship it to them because of where we are. So what would you say to them? What tips can you give them to prepare to do their best this year? Give them some tips. Talk to the competitors and what can they do to prepare to be at their best at the competition this year?
Well, I think that I can separate that in 2 things. It's called heart, passion, and information, data. I think that the things are important. Because when you are, you need to see this competition as the test of the real world, because one day you are going to need to put your business plan in action, and you are going to need to sell that to an investor or to other people, or to direct it to clients. So it's a good experiment. The first thing that you have that you need to have, it's a strong information and strong data. You need to be sure that what you're putting on the screen and what you're putting in the presentations has the full detail. In order you're not going to mention everything, you're not going to tell everything that it's for example on the financials, but you need to assure that that it's going to be there, and that anyone that can read that can see that you know your business, that you know the incomes, the outputs, that you know that you are completely sure of what you need from investment, what you need to keep growing in infrastructure. You need to have all that well organized in data, because I think that counts a lot, and not just in the competition, but in life. But you can't forget about passion and forget about the heart. What I want you to tell you is that you need to speak really, really, really and honest. So I think that the judges are going to see it's how much you love what you are doing, and if you can put that energy in your presentation, it can be a huge changer. You need to be fully in love of your project, and you need to talk with heart and passion in order to convince others to invest, not just for the competition. You need to convince others that the project has what it needs to change people's lives. So you need to assure that you are not just building a business plan. You need to assure that you are doing a revolution in a document that when you show others, change the way of how they think about your company, about what you are doing, in order for they want to be part of that, for they want to invest, and for them want you to grow. So you need to put passion, but you need to put strong data. You need to be sure of what you are talking about, and you need to prepare a lot. You need to do a lot of research and a lot of investigation. And if you're going to present in English and it's not your original language, what I can tell you is write everything, memorize that. Practice with the metronomy, with the I don't know how to say it, with the clock, in order to reduce time.
With the iPhone, with the phone,
practice.
your smartphone.
Sorry.
With your smartphone.
We just practice, and then when you arrive, feel free to speak, because you already have the information in your mind. But you need to practice a lot your speech.
Wow, that is good advice. Again, for those who are competing this year, wish you the best. Yamil just gave you some good advice as you prepare for the competition. Again, I want to invite you guys to register for Nehemiah. Go to nehemiah.com and join us. You will hear Yamil give his keynote address to share his experience this year, and you will hear these other competitors compete for who will be the 2020 winner for the business plan competition. Yamil, we're doing something different this year. We're going to not only have the judges' choice, which will be the person that will win the competition, the official winner, but we're also going to have the people's choice.
Wow!
And so the audience will also vote as to who they feel is the best business plan competition, and the people's choice will receive $1,000. And so my question to you is, speak a bit to the folks in Latin America, because last week, the Africa competition, Kenya won the people's choice and also won the judges' choice. But Kenya won in part because Kenya had a lot of people there. What can you say to the folks in Latin America and Mexico for them to come and support the competitor so that they have a chance of winning the people's choice? Could you speak to the Mexicans, or to those in Latin America, or to those who have a heart for Mexico, to invite them to come to support your winner, so that at least they have a chance of winning the people's choice?
Can I do it in Spanish?
Yes, you can.
Okay. uno de los grandes cánceres que ha quejado a nuestra sociedad es el malinchismo. Y desgraciadamente es horrible ver cómo grandes proyectos quedan enterrados detrás de los que llamamos hermanos. Y eso es muy doloroso. Sí, he visto tristemente a muchos proyectos en México que apenas alguien lanza una idea innovadora y los otros hablan cosas que no deben de hablar sobre ese proyecto, copian, insultan, critican, y desgraciadamente eso está sumamente arraigado en nuestra cultura, ¿no? Tenemos hasta este término, ¿no? El malinchismo es un término que tenemos desde que México se constituyó, ¿no? Y es horrible, ¿no? Yo qué te diría, de verdad, hay muchas personas como tú con hambre de que sus proyectos crezcan, y estar aquí es una responsabilidad enorme. Todo es acerca de la empatía, todo es acerca de, la Biblia lo habla, acerca de la siembra y de la cosecha. Cuando tú estás representando a un competidor internacional, cuando le estás dando tu apoyo, estás invirtiendo en tu nación y estás invirtiendo en ti mismo también, estás invirtiendo en tus proyectos, porque cuando tú siembras en el proyecto de otros, la consecuencia lógica de parte de Dios, no es karma, estamos hablando de Dios, la consecuencia lógica de parte de Dios es que Él también comienza a respaldar tus proyectos, porque lo que siembras cosechas. Tal vez tú estás viéndonos del otro lado de esta pantalla y dices, tal vez yo no soy parte de Nemaya Project, tal vez yo apenas voy a tomar el curso, tal vez yo no voy a ser la siguiente Nemaya, no voy a estar en la siguiente Nemaya Week. Eso no lo sabes y eso no lo conoces. De verdad te lo puedo decir como experiencia propia. Yo no sabía hasta dónde íbamos a llegar con este proyecto y simplemente un día ya estás ahí. Asegúrate de sembrar correctamente en los otros y en el corazón de los otros. Simplemente da, porque en algún momento tú también vas a estar en el podio, porque en algún momento tú también vas a estar en una situación de prueba, porque en un momento tú también vas a necesitar del apoyo de otros, que otras personas crean en tus proyectos para poder desarrollarlos, y esto solamente se cosecha a través de una siembra. De verdad, comienza a enfocarte en los proyectos de otros, apoya, sopórtalos, tráeles finalmente este apoyo y este bálsamo que solamente tú puedes dar, porque te aseguro que en algún momento vas a estar en la misma condición y vas a requerir de esta gran familia para que esté apoyándote en tus mejores y en tus peores momentos. Así que comienza a invertir en la gente y apoyemos con todo al competidor Javier Cervantes de México. Javier Cervantes, that it's the guy that is going to represent us this year in Mexico, Patrice. We're really proud for them, and we're going to be there cheering and helping him to be successful, because I don't want to say this, but Mexico is going to win again.
I love
that
it.
Is not going to travel to another country. I'm going to deliver to Javier in his hands here.
I love it. Well, I hope so, because that will save us on shipping costs.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That is awesome. Samantha says, Viva Mexico.
Viva
now,
Mexico.
The first place winner who wins the competition does receive $5,000 cash prize. And Yamil, your cash prize was delayed in getting to you. You were so gracious in being patient as that came along. Tell us a bit about, and you're going to share some of this. And that's it. I'm very happy, Javier, for Javier. Yamil, tell us a bit about, you went to Mexico back after you won. Your business hit a tough time. You're going to share some of this on EMI Week, I'm sure, but give us a sense, because some of these competitors, as they prepare to compete, whether they win or don't win, they have to go back home and they have to rebuild their business. They got to build. Tell us a bit about how you have been able to navigate COVID-19 in your business, and how the winning helped you in that process, though it was a bit delayed for you.
Well, as I told you before, we didn't expect this. I think the world was expecting this. When we arrived to from the competition, we start making plans. Originally, we were going to buy the building where the school is. It's right now. What I didn't know was that all the money that we were saving on all the strategies that we were putting together, we're preparing not for buying the building for the music school, but for surviving this crisis.
Wow.
I was really impacted because when this crisis started, our sales went down by 50%. And as the months start passing, we just keep 42% of the population of the school. So we were on debt because we were expending more money that was getting into the school. But I was really surprised of how God prepares for this time, because when I started the training with Nemaya, I didn't know that we were preparing for this moment. I would like to share, I obviously want to share with all of you how much we have been growing and how much we were earning, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen. We were just preparing for surviving this experience. And then it took a lot of weeks to put our minds together. I can tell you honestly, I was depressed like 2 weeks because I didn't know where to go. So I started remembering all the teachings and all the lessons and putting myself together and the team together. We start investing more. There's a thing that you need to know. Our music teachers win money through lessons. If they give in Sound City 5 lessons, they earn the money for just those 5 lessons. If they gave 20, 30 lessons, they earn money from those lessons. So when the crisis started, they were with few music lessons. We have to make a choice. That was just surviving with that, or start investing in our people. What we mainly do was creating new new positions in our company. We start developing other areas, developing other things. We took the money that we have in the bank and start investing on people with 2 objectives: for them to grow with us, and for them from not having few resources, because they were not having any other incomes. I was talking with with my teachers that are musicians. There's no job anywhere. There are not music lessons. There are not other music schools. We don't have events. We don't have money. Forget about luxury. They were telling me we don't have money to eat. We don't have money to provide our families. So we have to make this huge decision that was to put the money that we have, the savings, to serve people. And we started generating these new positions. At the beginning, obviously, I was very unsure about this decision because I was thinking this is going to consume the resources faster. But what I didn't expect was what's happening. The people that start working with us in a more consistent way, the people that we're grateful because we invest in them, start working and working and working and working, and start understanding that only together we can get out of this situation. One teacher told me one day, now I was afraid 2 weeks ago, but now I know that we can be together, the most important music school, art school in our country. When I hear those words, was from the same teacher that 2 months ago was telling me I don't have money to give my children something to eat. That was one of the people that we invest in that day. And that day he was telling me, I have these new ideas. I have these new innovations. I have this new vision of what we can do together as a team to get out. They start understanding our function as administrators, because back then they think, these guys are just earning money. I work and I give lessons, and these guys are being rich because of my work. And then with this, everything changes their mind. They discovered that as administrators, we have to pay a lot of expenses, salaries. We have to pay expenses in the business. We have to pay for marketing. We have to pay for production. We have to pay for a lot of things. But making these people involved, they make that they were more conscious. They have a biggest conscience of what happened when you put together a business. So they start working as a team, as a family, and they start develop. I remember that Before this, I was working in a lot of areas myself. Right now, I'm just the administrator, I'm just the leader, and I have a team of fully committed people that are working for a vision that it's beyond us, that it's beyond the business, that it's beyond Yamil or Samuel or whatever. They are building and create, they understand that together we can put together stronger futures for everyone. They are also thinking now and how they are going to create more businesses and more opportunities for other musicians that are in the same condition. So investing the last money that we have in people was the best decision that we can do. I can tell you right now that our finances are great, but what I can tell you is that Sound City is going to grow because of the people we invest. So invest in people. It's a good
Wow.
decision.
That is powerful. What a way, what a strategy to survive COVID-19. As a matter of fact, no wonder you won the business the Serve with Love award. This is evident that you fully deserved to win the Serve with Love award. Congratulations. Now we're coming to a wrap here as we've been talking to Yamil Rosales, the 2019 Business Plan Competition winner. And there you can join us and register to hear all kinds of great speakers, support the winner from your region or your country, and hear Yamil in the worship service as well as his talk. Yamil, last two questions for you. The one before the last, you're going to be giving a keynote address at the international competition. Give us a little teaser. What can people expect to hear from you for your talk at the international competition?
Well, I remember that all the competitors talk about their results. So I can talk about economic results right now. But what I can talk about, it's about how to work with people and how to make them grow. Because that's the journey where God took us. And understanding the stewardship. So I'm going to be talking about that, precisely about the strategies that we put together in order to just to show what we learned in the Maya. People are first, serve with love, honor God, do great businesses, to serve others, being a good steward. I think that's it.
I love it. That is good advice, my friend. We're looking forward to hearing your talk and looking forward to being inspired by you. Well, we've come to the end. Yamil, many entrepreneurs are listening from all over the world, and they're watching. And any last word of advice would you give them? By the way, before you do that, if somebody want to get in touch with you, Yamil, whether they are in Latin America, Mexico, or anywhere around the world, about your music school, Sound City, to take classes there or get your team to come and worship for them, how do they contact you? Where do they go for more information about Sound City?
Okay, you can look for us directly in our website. We just changed the website, that it's soundcitycollege.com. You can find us in social media. Right now, we are putting a lot of work in all of our social media. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Facebook. We have this new website. We are developing this new online platform for students all over Latin America. So if you want, for us, you need to type Sound City College in whatever social media you want, and you're going to find information. We are not trying to sell you anything through this social media. We have a lot of free resources for you, free resources for musicians. So if you want to get in touch, we also have a recording studio that it's called Rose Producciones. So we can do a lot of things with you guys. And if you like to write, to put in contact, or just share things and talk to each other, if we can serve you in any way, we are here for you.
Awesome. So go look up Sound City. So what final advice would you give entrepreneurs as to if they want to make sure that they can navigate and survive as you have? What advice would you give them as we close?
Um, be a CES. I remember, Patrice, that I was watching a description of your bio in one document. I don't remember which document was, but I remember that it says Patrice Agué, Nimaya Project, CES. And I was wondering myself, what is CES? Because I know the CEOs, Chief Executive Officer. But when I read with more detail in other document, I was watching that you named yourself CES, Chief Executive Servant. And again, that blew my mind completely. Right now, I'm not the CEO of Huru or from Sound City or from all the projects that we have. Now I have changed that to CES because I right now I understand that I'm not in the top of the change of the chain. I'm not the leader. I'm not the boss. I'm not the person that needs to be there to just give orders and to tell everyone what to do. I need to be the first person that serves. So I think that you need to become that as CES. You need to be the chief executive servant of your organization, and you need to start looking for the particular needs of each one of your collaborators. They are not numbers. They are not people that just work for you. Even the smallest person in your chain is important. So you need to start hanging around with them. You need to know them. You need to know their need, and you need to be truly involved, because in that way together you can put an organization, a living organization that works and seeks for something bigger than just a business. You start getting in community with people that are going to seek for a true mission, for a true transformational mission. And if you start having impact in their lives, they are going to do the same for others, and your business is going to grow, and other businesses are going to grow, and people are going to grow. So I think that that's my final advice. Not be the CEO, be the chief executive servant that your company needs you to be.
Wow. Again, ladies and gentlemen, our 2019 business plan competition winner, Yamil Rosales from Sound City, Metepec, Mexico. Rene, no wonder you won both the Server Love Award, second place, as well as the first place at the International Business Plan Competition. We look forward to hearing you share with us your story during the MI Week and helping us understand how to serve people. Thank you, sir, for being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Patrice. It's a huge honor to be with you all, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, thank you for watching and listening and being here with us. I want to invite you to Nehemiah Week to come check out Yamil, hear his worship, as well as his talk at the International Business Plan Competition. Go to nehemiahweek.com, nehemiahweek.com, and register and join us at the first digital conference. There's still space. And then next year, we're going to be back in Mexico for the live conference. Again, those from Latin America and Mexico, you heard from Yamil, come and help support Xavier as he hopes to win both the People's Choice Award, and keep the trophy in Mexico City. That's Yamil's challenge to him. Yamil, we're going to have you come back sometimes and talk to us more about how the company's doing and help inspire the people. You did a great job. Don't forget, folks, this week we're going to have with us tomorrow, we're going to have Robert Fukui and Richard Zilke are going to talk about GKIN, the Global Kingdom Investors Network. And this year we have two businesses that are pitching. We're going to look to raise capital. So far, we've given over $2.2 million to businesses not giving invested. We have two more businesses we're trying to invest in this year. So check that out tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we have Oz Hillman, who also one of our speakers. He's going to be here in studio talking about the 7 mountains of influence. which is going to be his talk at Nehemiah Week. And then Friday, we have another Mexican, Rene Villa, the one who helped to launch Nehemiah Project Mexico. Rene is also a board member and an investor with the Global King Investors Network. So don't forget to tune in the next 3 days as we continue to help you understand why you should be part of Nehemiah this year and how to engage with us. We want to serve you. With that said, visit our website, nehemiahecommunity.com, nehemiahecommunity.com. There you can learn and get involved with us as we work with you to provide you with training, coaching, access to capital, and together we can transform the world. And I believe next week, Yamil, we're going to have you back in the studio with your winner of the competition, and Edna, the director of Nehemiah Project Mexico and the Latin America. So you're going to hear back Yamil again as he comes back with the 2020 winner, as well as the Edna, the director, and what he hopes to be the 2020 international winner coming up. So be on the lookout for that. Well, don't you leave yet, because I'm going to pray for you. And after I pray, there's going to be a video that's going to play about Nehemiah Week, and then watch that, and then you're free to go. But let me pray for you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that He's placed under your care, and to steward them in such a way that one day you may hear those wonderful words. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Now He'll make you ruler over much. God bless you. Thanks for watching. See you at Nehemiah Week. Thank you, Yamil. Watch this video.
Thank you.
Nehemiah Week is an annual event designed to equip entrepreneurs and leaders from around the world, to inspire and to honor marketplace leaders for their accomplishments and what they're doing to model Christ in the marketplace.
God is doing incredible things at Nehemiah Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, God has called us to be a light for Him, to be an example for Him, to be a model for Him, so that as others see us, not hear us, but see us, they can see a model of Christ.
Yeah, each year at Nehemiah Week, we gather the nations.
Our vision is to transform the marketplace with the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, one entrepreneur at a time.
We have learned to do business in a godly way. I'll actually spread this to our church as well.
Through the course of Nehemiah Week includes information around principles of biblical entrepreneurship, so really looking at biblical economics.
What we've learned this week is about training. Nehemiah Project is about training and then coaching and then accessing capital.
Nehemiah gave me a godly vision. Really impacts the way that I see doing business.
Nehemiah Week not only gives birth to new ideas, it connects us with resources and relationships that makes them possible.
So what we want to do is not just affect here in the U.S. We want to take this curriculum all over the world.
Whatever it is, the question is, what impact will this have on others?
It's something that's going to change lives. So I'm ready to use whatever I have for the benefit of the kingdom of God.
I believe that the nations are going to shake because of this week. Biblical entrepreneurship takes a stand to say we are going to be witnesses for Jesus Christ in the marketplace.